The story begins and ends tonight, like I said earlier, with the Padres offense. Padres shut out today for the fifth time in 15 games and the fourth time in 9 games. And with the names in this lineup, that is hard to believe. It's also very early. We're 25 games in, but I don't think anybody could have predicted that 25 games in, the Padres, let alone in 15 games or, 4 times in 9 games, that the Padres would have been shut out 5 times in the first 25 games of the season. Tough night for Juan Soto. He went 0 for 4. Manny Machado 0 for 3 with a walk, and we're still waiting for those two guys to really get going here. I still firmly believe they will. But it's been an inconsistent and at times very quiet 25 games for both those two hitters to begin this season. With that said, even when the lineup isn't clicking on all cylinders, the top 4 guys, Tatis, Soto, Machado, and Bogaerts, aren't clicking on all cylinders. It's still a lineup deep enough, as we've said many times, where you should be able to score some runs. Obviously, that happened over the past, at times over the past 5 games or so, with the Padres winning 4 of 5. But as we said earlier, the main takeaway here tonight is every time this offense seems to take a step or two forward, it's been a step or two back. And hopefully during this road trip, they can find that offensive consistency. Padres were not great with runners in scoring position tonight, to say the least. They were 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position, left 10 on, so they had opportunities in this game. You look early, way before it was a 6-0 game, when it was scoreless, and then a 2-0 game after the Gomes home run. They had Tatis on first base, nobody out in the first inning. Had the leadoff man on in the second, nobody out. Couldn't get Bogaerts in. Then a really good opportunity in the third. And this is the kind of spot where at some point here, you hope the Padres are scoring runs in this kind of spot. More often than not, they had 2 on, runners on first and second, 1 out in the third, but Soto strikes out, Machado pops out. With those 2 guys due up, with guys on base, that's a spot where the Padres have to start cashing in opportunities. And the list goes on and on here tonight, the issues with runners in scoring position. But the bottom line, my point is, they did have opportunities, went 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. So we'll see if the Padres can get it going offensively, find that offensive consistency tomorrow. Certainly a tip of the cap to Justin Steele, who went 5 1/3 scoreless innings, continues his great work to begin the year, but it's something we talked about in the pregame. One of the keys to tonight's game was getting Justin Steele out and getting to the Cubs bullpen, and then even when it was 2-0, Padres could not scratch across a run against that Cubs bullpen. So, look, a frustrating night for the Padres offensively. Certainly still searching for the consistency offensively, and a couple of guys in the top of that lineup to really start to get going. We know when they do, this team will start winning more consistently, will start scoring runs more consistently. There's no doubt about that, but 25 games in, we're still waiting for this team to click offensively on all cylinders.